I got a surprise for you.
What?
I started recording. Fuckface.
Oh, we don't have to fucking complain about it, man.
Yeah, but that's what you start every show by going, when's it
Well, because you
starting?
take too long, naturally. Naturally, you take too long.
Some podcasts are slow, and you don't know how long they last. That's why you're listening to 10-Minute Podcast.
Welcome to the 10-Minute Podcast. My name is Will Sasso.
And I'm Chris D'Elia.
And speaking of fuckfaces, Bryan Callen is not with us.
Wait, were we talking about fuckfaces?
Well, I called you fuckface at the top of the show.
Oh, that's right. Okay,
I'm
yeah.
sorry
See,
about
I
that.
only have I don't remember that kind of stuff. My mind's on more important stuff.
Like
God.
Colin Bryan fuckface.
Doing stuff like real shit in Hollywood.
Doing stuff like real shit in Hollywood?
Yeah.
Can you, if you ever write a book, can you call it doing stuff like real shit in Hollywood?
That would be. I mean, I would buy that book immediately. All jokes aside, especially if doing stuff was on it twice. Doing stuff like real shit in Hollywood. That would be immediately. I would say I read it and I loved it even before I read it.
Yeah. So Chris, here's what's up.
Well, first of all, what? Okay, you do that.
Okay. A couple days ago, we had an episode called All About Chris, where we asked our listeners to tweet in and tweet about you and ask questions that Bryan and I could answer about you because you weren't here and Bryan
really?
was here.
Well, let me ask you a question. How come all of a sudden, why does this podcast seem so much better than all of the other ones right now?
I think I'm picking up what you're laying down.
What?
I do not disagree because we're not fighting, gasping for air, and trying to tread water while the bit killer.
Bit Killer Jones. Bit Killer Jones.
It's as if we're treading water and Bryan is a playful whale just tugging us down under the water so we can't breathe or speak.
It's less like that and more like the fucking opening scene from Jaws, where he's fucking murdering. The lady is the bit, and then the shark is Bryan, and he comes up and chomps the girl and the bit in half and ruins it.
Yeah, well, okay. I mean, I agree. I agree on some aspects of that. I disagree on others, but suffice to say, it is a whole lot easier to speak. I do think that the three of us together have a unique.
Yeah, it's good. It's the best. But
it is the best podcast ever. We'd be lying to you if we said it wasn't.
I'd be lying. I'm not a liar. But let me tell you something, though. Seriously, since it's just between us, like I really don't like Bryan for real.
Well, maybe you won't like him after you listen to this clip. I'd like to play you a clip.
What is it?
From Tuesday's show, from our last show, where Bryan spoke about you.
Okay.
I want to say something else about him, and he's a dear friend. But if you shaved his head, he is working in Starbucks. I mean, that guy is not going anywhere in show business. It's
come on. Okay, so there it is. I sort of stuck up for you at the end, though.
Yeah, well, first of all, Bryan, I think what he's trying to do is be negative towards the good people that work at Starbucks and for Starbucks, and I don't do that. I like Starbucks, so he's
it's good for you. That is very nice of you to stick up for them.
Yeah, so that's rude. I think what he's trying to do is and he's trying to say that I'm without talent.
That's
and that
wrong.
It's my hair.
Yeah,
and it's not. And my hair is good. Okay, I get it.
Right.
But
he's jealous of your hair. He wants your hair.
Yeah.
As I've stated before on the podcast, if I had your hair, I would look like Ogre from Revenge of the Nerds. I don't want your hair.
It's hard to pull it off.
It is hard to pull it off.
And guess who does it? The kid. But by the kid, this time I mean me, not him, because I truly am the kid.
Chris is pointing to himself. So earlier today, I asked our followers who follow us at 10MinPod.
Oh, I really hate that name, man.
To tweet in some questions for Bryan, about Bryan for Chris and I because we're here. So we got some of these. Chris,
this is
you want to jump in?
This is them right here?
So who you got one or you want
Sure. Oh, I got one right here. Yeah.
Who's
All
it from?
about Bryan. It's
Who's
from
it from?
Franchise Time, at Franchise Time, which is the most foreign thing to call your Twitter name, Franchise Time. At 10 Franchise Time. At 10MinPod, what is the dumbest thing you've seen Bryan do outside of Corky Romano? And that's actually really easy. That's really fucking easy.
Bryan was not in Corky Romano,
but in a way, his essence was. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The dumbest thing I've seen Bryan do outside of Corky Romano is drive that fucking god awful red Prius. Why is it? First of all, Priuses are great. I love Priuses. I think they're great they save the environment. That's fucking awesome because we're all going to die if we don't do that.
Yeah, that's true.
Why to get a cherry ruby fucking red one?
Why did he draw attention to himself? The whole idea of having a Prius, and I know a lot of people that do that perhaps that can afford more expensive cars, but they're into the Prius. They like what it stands for, and they usually go for a gunmetal gray, a cobalt.
Yep.
At the very most maybe a blue.
Yeah,
but
low profile.
Right. This fuckhead gets a cherry red Prius.
It's cherry red Prius, which is like saying, "Hey guys, look at me. I'm fucking middle-aged and I suck."
Right.
If you get a red car, you suck.
Right. It's like pulling your dick out a lot and it's really small.
It's like Bryan.
A small dick
it's
out.
like if Bryan were to pull out his 3-inch penis.
Right. I have a huge dick.
Oh. Okay. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if that really pertains to this.
I wear
All about
size
Bryan.
15 feet.
Okay, you're also 7'8". So.
Okay, here's this is from I'm 6'3". This is from @Peter Marin Music # all about Bryan. Does Bryan have a part in Hangover 3 as an even less important character than in the last two?
I think could you get less important? I think the less important character on Hangover 3 would be craft service. I think what it would be. And I think that Bryan is actually doing craft service on Hangover 3. And good for him, dude. He's branching out.
I hope that they shoot. Well, I hope Bryan's in Hangover 3, but it would be pretty funny if they just have to cut everything out.
Yep.
And he just sort of ends up walking by, like he ends up being turned into an extra.
Yeah.
Because they just had to cut his lines to drive the story.
Bryan's lines in Hangover 3 are this: "Hey guys, whoa." That's his line. That's his line in Hangover 3.
Because then there was a whole scene to proceed that would have got into the meat of it. But hey guys, whoa.
That's what it cuts down to.
Yeah. What do you got? Anything else?
I was @New World Orphan. Cute play on words. That's pretty tee-hee, dude. New World Orphan. That's fucking. That's so cute, dude. I love that shit. Yeah. I want to fucking hold whoever that is, even if a guy, like not even in a gay way, just cute as fuck. New World Orphan.
Hey, quit tee-heeing.
Nah, man, I can't. @New World Orphan. I was wondering what it's like to know someone whose hair is slowly committing suicide. Is it depressing or enjoyable? All about Bryan. Pretty funny, actually, and a nice, funny way of saying that he's balding. Hair slowly committing suicide. I like to think of Bryan's. First of all, everything about knowing Bryan is pretty fucking depressing, but and it's enjoyable how depressing it is. But here's the deal. I like to liken Bryan's head as one hair in the middle farted. And the rest of the hair was like, whoa, we got to get the fuck out of here.
He essentially looks like Charlie Brown or Homer Simpson.
Yeah, basically.
He just swirls one hair around his head and it ends up having the effect that it...
You know how evil villains twirl their beard? Bryan twirls the top of his head, the one hair. He the middle of his top of his head farted, and the rest of the hair was like, damn, that smells bad.
Okay, here's this is from Fergus @O with 2 H's Fergus.
OHH?
OHH Fergus. # all about Bryan. Who can throw Bryan further? That's me. Let's try a different.
Okay, well, you just did that one, but you did that one so you could be
That's me.
about you stronger.
Yeah, I'm really, really strong. This is from JSM0309. # all about Bryan. When Bryan Callen filmed his Showtime special, did he realize they were actually recording it?
Oh my God, that's so funny.
That's really mean.
By the way, yeah, it is mean, but
His
it's fucking
hilarious.
He deserves it. It is really funny. Man Class is funny.
Yeah, get that.
If you like broad strokes, you do it.
Here's the interesting thing. We went over to Bryan's house and watched the special with him as it premiered on Showtime, and he did think that they were going to cut it down to about 45 or 50 minutes. Oh my God,
so funny. He did an hour and 20 minutes on stage, and they left it.
They kept the whole thing, and I think it might have even been 2 hours of TV time.
It was so
with
funny,
commercials.
Dude.
And he was sitting in the. I remember you tweeted a picture of Bryan.
Do you want to talk about? Dude, that shit was so. I took a picture of him, dude. I took a picture of him.
That was a cute as shit.
It was cute as fuck. He was eating his thumb and looking at his thing behind everyone, and it was as shit, dude.
But I think he did a great job, and he was a little self-conscious. But I like that he let it flow. You think it's a bit pedestrian?
No. Honestly, Bryan is one of the funniest guys I've ever seen on stage at the Spearmint Rhino.
Hey-o. You got anything else?
10-minute pod. Does Bryan eat crayons for lunch? That's actually
he's mentally challenged.
That's actually weird because you must know Bryan because he's got a fucking terrible diet.
This is what I like about our listeners and the people that follow us on Twitter, that they're funny. They're funny themselves. You know, this was fun. I like interacting with them, Chris.
Okay, hey, are you a robot, bro?
I like to interact.
I like interacting with him.
Hey, thanks for listening to the 10 Minute Podcast, subscribing and downloading on iTunes. We're on Stitcher Smart Radio. Check us out on Twitter, of course, at 10 Min Pod. And all of this info and a whole bunch of other shit at 10minutepodcast.com.
Y'all motherfuckers want some free video games from GameFly? This is Shana. Get yourself a free 15-day trial and play video games while supporting the podcast. Just take your ass to gamefly.com/10minpod. Hit the banner at 10minutepodcast.com and get you some free shit.